It was supposed to be an ordinary dinner. Keanu Reeves, a man who had seen everything from the glitz and glamour of Hollywood to the struggles of real life, was looking forward to a quiet meal at one of the city's most talked about restaurants. He had been traveling for days, and the thought of sitting down to a good meal was exactly what he needed. But what happened next was far from ordinary. As Keanu approached the entrance of the upscale restaurant, a hostess busy talking to some influencers near the door barely noticed him. He stood there for a moment waiting for her to acknowledge his presence, but she was too absorbed in the conversation. Laughing at some joke, Keanu cleared his throat trying to get her attention. He wasn't used to this kind of treatment. After all, he was Keanu Reeves, but today none of that mattered. He wasn't here as a celebrity, he just wanted to eat. "Excuse me," Keanu said politely, his voice calm and measured. The hostess, still distracted, barely looked up. "Just a minute," she said with a dismissive wave of her hand. She wasn't even looking at him directly. Keanu stood there feeling the sting of being ignored. He could have easily walked away, but he decided to wait. He wasn't in a rush, but as seconds ticked by, the sense of being invisible grew stronger. Finally the hostess glanced up at him. Her eyes scanned him quickly, dismissing him in an instant. "Sorry, we're fully booked tonight," she said without even trying to hide her annoyance. "Maybe try next time." Keanu's heart sank. That was it. No smile, no warmth, just a cold rejection, as though he didn't even matter. He could have been anyone, another nameless person trying to get into a fancy restaurant. But as he turned to leave, something inside him snapped. He had dealt with rejection in his life, but this was different. The way she had treated him wasn't just rude, it was dismissive, as if he wasn't even worthy of basic respect. Before he could take another step, he heard a familiar voice. "Oi, what's going on here?" It was Gordon Ramsay's unmistakable voice, sharp and commanding. Keanu froze as he heard Gordon Ramsay's voice. It wasn't just any voice, it was a force, loud and clear, filled with authority and confidence, the kind of voice that made people stop what they were doing and pay attention. Keanu turned to find Gordon walking toward him, his usual fiery energy lighting up the room. The hostess immediately straightened up, clearly flustered. "Mr. Ramsay, I didn't realize it was you," she stammered, suddenly nervous. Gordon's gaze locked onto her with a look that could freeze anyone in place. "What the hell's going on here?" he demanded, his voice like a whip cracking through the air. Keanu stood still, unsure whether to speak or just observe. He didn't want to cause a scene, but it felt good to have someone on his side for once. The hostess, still uneasy, stammered, "We're fully booked for the night, Mr. Ramsay. I just told this gentleman." "Do you know who this is?" Gordon interrupted, his voice growing more intense with each word. The hostess blinked, clearly clueless. Keanu watched in silence, feeling a strange mix of relief and gratitude. It wasn't just that Gordon Ramsay, the famous chef and TV personality, was defending him. It was how fiercely Gordon was standing up for him. There was a certain fire in Gordon's eyes that made Keanu believe that for the first time tonight someone actually cared about treating him like a human being. The hostess hesitated. I don't. This is Keanu Reeves," Gordon snapped, his voice booming. "The man who's been working his entire life, giving the world some of the best movies ever made, and you treat him like some kind of nuisance." Gordon's eyes narrowed as he pointed a finger at the hostess. "You should be Ashamed of yourself, Keanu caught off guard felt a warm sense of appreciation rise in him. He had never seen Gordon Ramsay like this, so protective, so unwavering. Most people would have just ignored the situation or walked away, but not Gordon. He was making sure that Keanu wouldn't be treated like trash. The hostess looked mortified now, her face flushed with embarrassment. She quickly turned to Keanu, her voice stumbling over her words. "I'm so sorry, sir, I didn't recognize you. Please come in, we'll find a table for you right away." Keanu felt a mix of emotions: anger, gratitude and confusion. How could people be so blind to the dignity of others? How could they just discard someone without a second thought? Before Keanu could respond, Gordon turned to him, a small but genuine smile playing on his lips. "Don't worry about it, mate. I'm not going to let anyone treat you like that." His eyes softened. "You're not just some celebrity to be put on a pedestal. You're a person and you deserve to be treated with respect." Keanu nodded, slowly touched by the sincerity in Gordon's voice. It wasn't often that someone truly saw him for who he was. Most of the time people saw only the persona of Keanu Reeves, the actor, the star, but tonight Gordon Ramsay had seen him as Keanu, the man, the human being. Gordon clapped him on the shoulder. "You're coming with me. I'll make sure you get the best seat in the house. No one's going to treat you like that in my restaurant." Keanu was almost speechless, feeling a rush of gratitude. "Thank you, Gordon. I didn't expect this." Gordon grinned, his usual fiery demeanor back in full force. "You're welcome, and trust me, this place runs by my rules, so let's get you seated." The hostess, still flustered, led them to a private corner table away from the main dining area. Keanu couldn't help but glance back at the scene that had unfolded just moments ago. It was almost like watching someone stand up against a bully on your behalf. Gordon Ramsay wasn't just a celebrity chef, he was a man of integrity, willing to step in when it mattered most. As Keanu sat down, he realized that this wasn't just a random dinner, it was a lesson in kindness, in standing up for what's right, and in never allowing anyone to diminish your worth. The atmosphere had changed dramatically since Keanu arrived at the restaurant. Initially it felt cold and impersonal, but now it felt welcoming. However, Keanu couldn't shake off the earlier judgment he faced, based solely on his appearance. As the waiter brought over the first course, a beautifully crafted dish of seared tuna, Keanu felt a wave of frustration. He wasn't used to being treated this way, even during his earlier career struggles. Gordon, sensing his discomfort, asked, "You okay?" Keanu looked up, surprised by Gordon's genuine concern. "Yeah, just thinking about how easily people judge others. It's crazy. I get it all the time, especially when I'm not in Keanu Reeves mode." Gordon raised an eyebrow, curious. "What's that?" "When I'm at a red carpet event or on set, people know me, but when I'm just me without the fame, people treat me differently. It's like I'm invisible." Gordon nodded. "People forget we're all just people, whether we're famous or not. That's not easy to deal with, but you've got to keep your ground." Keanu appreciated his words, but just as the conversation shifted, the waiter returned with the main course, a felt mignon paired with roasted vegetables. This time the waiter's smile didn't reach his eyes. There was a subtle hint of contempt. Keanu immediately noticed and felt his frustration rise. Again, Gordon, ever observant, caught the change in the waiter's demeanor. "Is there a problem, mate?" he asked, his tone suddenly cold. The waiter stammered, "No sir, no problem at all." Gordon. Pressed. Then why does it look like you're making a statement? The waiter hesitated. Keanu, who didn't want to escalate things, decided to stand up for himself quietly. Actually, I'll pass on the steak, he said firmly, not in the mood anymore. The waiter looked surprised, but quickly retreated. Keanu felt a strange satisfaction, not over the food, but over regaining control. Good for you, mate, Gordon said, impressed. It's not about making a scene, Keanu replied. It's about reminding people you're not invisible. The night continued with lighter conversation, but as they were finishing dessert, the waiter appeared again. This time his demeanor was different. He seemed genuinely remorseful. Mr. Reeves, Mr. Ramsay, I just wanted to apologize for my behavior earlier, he said, his voice quiet. Keanu and Gordon exchanged a glance. Gordon, never one to hold back, asked, "What's this about?" I treated Mr. Reeves terribly," the waiter admitted. "I judged him before I knew who he was. I've learned a lesson. Tonight every person deserves respect." Keanu, surprised by the sincerity, smiled softly. "It's okay, we all make mistakes. What matters is owning up to it," Gordon added. "It takes guts to admit you're wrong, especially in front of the person you've wronged. Good on you." The waiter smiled, relieved. "I've learned a lot tonight. I'll be more mindful of how I treat people." Keanu nodded. "What matters is how we move forward from mistakes. You've got the chance to do better now." As the waiter left, Gordon raised his glass. "That's a nice way to end the night." Keanu raised his glass in return, yet a reminder that small acts of kindness can make a big difference. Sometimes it's not about who you are but how you treat others. Kindness, respect, and understanding can change everything, even in the most unexpected situations. Did this story surprise you? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more inspiring tales that remind us all to treat others with kindness.